Question of the Week from the Naked Scientists.
Hello and welcome to Question of the Week. I'm James Titko. This time we're answering this one from Mike. He writes, some cultures are seen firing multiple guns into the air when excited or celebrating. What happens to these bullets? Clearly they come back to Earth, but is it nearby and are they dangerous? Have people been killed? Thanks, Mike. Celebratory gunfire is fairly widespread, as you suggest, with examples across the world from the Americas to the Middle East. Bullets leaving a gun barrel experience explosive acceleration. Depending on the firearm, a bullet fired straight upwards can rise several kilometres before gravity halts its climb and pulls it back down. Because bullets are often made of lead, which is very dense, falling bullets encounter relatively less air resistance and reach high terminal velocities, up to 180 metres per second. At these speeds, they can penetrate the human skull. Yusuf Haider is a neurologist at the University Hospitals in Birmingham. I asked him what the effect of such an impact could be.
The bullet will damage the skull and impact on the brain itself. But then following on from that, you'll get secondary effects. So there'll be bleeding inside of the skull, which we call intracranial hemorrhage. And then the actual brain itself will start to swell up. When that happens, the pressure inside of the skull will start to rise. So because the skull is basically a rigid box, it can only handle so much pressure. And eventually the body is not able to compensate for that, and the pressure will start to spike up exponentially. What can happen is herniation, which basically means that the brain is being pushed out of its normal position, and it can even move through openings in the skull. Basically, parts of the brain which are very critical for health, like the areas that control breathing and your heartbeat, those will get squashed, and that's when it becomes life-threatening.
A penetrating injury is thus very serious. But aside from these most extreme cases, less severe damage could also lead to lifelong consequences for a patient.
So if the bullet's falling in such a way that it's tumbling and it's not at such a high speed, then it can impact the head without causing a penetrating injury, but still definitely can cause severe trauma. It can knock a person unconscious, and it can cause what we call concussion as well. They are prone to having very long-term effects, months and even a year later, long-term headaches, problems with balance, sleep, thinking, even like emotional problems, all because of this injury.
So how common are these injuries? Well, my thanks here goes to Luis Rafael Moscot Salazar, Director of the Colombian Clinical Research Group in Neurocritical Care, for his consultation when composing this piece. He conducted a literature review on this very question. He found that if you're unlucky enough to be struck, the mortality rate from a falling bullet is estimated at around 32%. One reason for this is that victims of falling bullets rarely have protective equipment, such as helmets. After the Iraqi football team won the Asian Cup in 2007, celebratory gunfire killed 3 people. In Puerto Rico, New Year's Eve gunfire in 2004 caused 19 injuries and 1 death. So, Dr. Moscot Salazar's conclusion?
My advice would be try finding a different way to celebrate.
Thanks for sending that one in, Mike. Next time we're answering this one from Svar. In Africa, there are stories of snakes becoming tame when around breastfeeding babies. There would even be instances when a breastfeeding mother would spray breast milk on the snake to tame it. Is this a legend, or is there a scientific explanation to this phenomenon? Well, we'll look forward to getting our teeth sunk into that one. If you've got any thoughts in the meantime on this or any of our other questions, please feel free to log into nakedscientists.com/forum and have your say. We're also always looking for new questions, which you can please send to chris@thenakedscientists.com. That's all for now. Thanks for listening. I'm James Titko, and we hope you'll join us next time on Question of the Week.
Question of the Week is part of the Naked Scientists podcast. Look us up online at nakedscientists.com.